Hi everyone, your host is here, Mike. Today we will be doing a custom install. Whoa! Basically we will be installing what you see to the left into the Xbox One controller to the right. Yay! If you're wondering, those buttons are made of aluminum. And yes, they do resemble the back end of a 9mm bullet. Whoa! Sounds exciting. Enjoy the show. Comment, like, and subscribe if you knew what was good for you. Step 1. Grab your controller, flip it over, and remove the battery cover. We're going to remove the gray hand grips, and to do that, I use this blue plastic tool that you can get from iPod or smartphone repair kits. Just take your tool and wedge the tool into the interior side of the grip panel, in between the two panels. Trick here is to get it in, slide it through, and you'll start to hear clicks. What you're doing is separating the notches on the grip panels away from the slots in the frame. When you separate them all, then it should lift right up. Step 2. You're going to need to remove 5 Torx screws on the back plate. You'll need a specific Torx bit. The size of the bit is a T8 Torx bit, and the ratchet is needed as well. There are 5 screws. There are 2 located on each hand grip, one at the top corner and one at the bottom corner. The last screw is located underneath the sticker in the battery compartment. You're going to need to take your Torx bit, puncture the sticker, expose the screw, twist left, and remove. Step 3. Remove the front faceplate. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Turn the controller over and remove the backplate. Looks pretty good. So we'll set that off to the side. There she goes. Ooh. Now we'll be removing the right and left back buttons. What you're gonna need here is the flathead screwdriver, and you're gonna want to lift up the notches over the stud which is connected to the faceplate of the controller. You're gonna have to be careful here and remove it safely without damaging it. Takes a little wiggling. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now we'll have to remove the bezel of the home button. Step 4. After you remove the bezel of the home button, you will need to remove the wireless button. The wireless button lifts right up. You can set that off to the side somewhere safely so you do not lose that. You can turn the controller over, and we need to work on removing the upper rumble packs. And to do that, we will need to remove the trigger shells. You will need a T6 Torx bit and your ratchet, and you will need to remove 2 screws per trigger. Step 5. After removing the trigger shells, we will need to remove the D-pad. Turn your controller over, and first thing you have to remove is the spring which locks the D-pad into place. You will need your flathead screwdriver, pry up, and remove. Now hold on. Now set that off to the side. Remove the D-pad, and it looks to be that they have added some lithium grease in order to lubricate the little stud onto the center of the frame. Now you can remove the thumbsticks. They lift right up. Set those off to the side. Next we will have to remove the upper rumble packs. To remove those, remove them from their compartment. Guide the wires away from the controller, all being held by clips and tape. Step 6. You're going to want to flip the controller over. There are 2 screws that you need to remove, one at each bottom corner of the circuit board. Take your T6 bit, twist left, and remove. Step 7. You're going to need to separate the 2 circuit boards. There are 2 plugs, as you can see, that connect to 2 sockets on the bottom board. To separate the 2, you will need your plastic tool. Pry in between the 2 boards, and just be careful to not pry on top of a resistor or any small, micro piece of hardware on either board. As soon as you get it loose, it exposes 6 screws on the bottom board. So flip the controller around, and what you're going to need is your T6 Torx bit and your ratchet. There are 6 total screws. Twist left and remove. Step 8. Pull the circuit board away from the frame, remove the rubber pads, and now you can remove the circuit board itself. You are now exposing these plastic buttons, and now we can remove the old buttons and replace them with the aluminum buttons that we purchased online. Now it's getting exciting. Step 9. After you've installed all the buttons into their slots, we are going to now put everything back together. Right there we just grab the home button, and the home button goes into its original location. Grab your rubber pads, install them into the frame on top of the buttons. Grab your circuit board, install that in place. Grab your T6 Torx bit and your ratchet, and you will need to install all 6 screws right into the frame, securing the circuit board. Step 10. We are going to need to install the top circuit board to the frame of the controller. First, what we need to do is install the 2 plugs on the upper circuit board to the 2 sockets located on the bottom circuit board. As you can see in the light. Ooh. Now when you get those 2 plugs aligned, you're going to need to take both hands and apply pressure to the areas the plugs are located, And just be careful when securing them and fastening them into place. Turn your controller around, take your T6 bit, and you're going to need to install 2 T6 torque screws. Step 11. We are now installing the larger rumble packs. Place them into their cradles. Make sure that the rear cable is centered to the cradle. What I usually do during this time is I grab a little bit of Scotch tape and I tape the larger rumble packs down to the frame so that during the time that I'm installing the smaller rumble packs, they will not be moving around or causing any harm to the wired connections connecting the rumble pack to the board. It makes everything easier. Know what I'm saying? Bruh? Step 12. We will now be installing the trigger shells. Flip the controller around and you will need your T6 Torx bit and your ratchet, and you will be installing 2 torque screws per trigger shell. So now we're installing the D-pad, the golden D-pad. What I usually do is before I install, I grab a Q-tip, dab a little alcohol, and clean it thoroughly. You get in the crevices and remove all that dust and grime and grit. So you place it into its compartment. Then you grab the metal spring, and this spring, it easily clips onto the frame of the controller and it holds down the D-pad in place, and voila! And now we'll be installing the aluminum thumbsticks. Next up is you want to take that wireless button. Where you at? Oh, there you go. And you want to install that into the slot of the frame, right next to the home button, right there, right there. And then once you do that, you grab the bezel for the home button and you slide it into place. It'll click under those 2 notches. There it goes, it's securely in. And now you take the, which one is this? The right back button. And there's a specific way that goes in. It goes in between the frame and the home button bezel, and it'll click under that stud. Same here with the left back button. Install it the same exact way. Having a little trouble with this one. Eventually it will go into its respective place. Once it clicks into place, will be almost complete, and it clicked, everything's securely in. I hope you guys enjoyed the beat for this video. We're on to the last and final steps. Grab that faceplate and install it to the front of the controller. Turn your controller around and grab that backplate. We're going to install this backplate. You're going to want to rest that upon the rear of that controller. You might have to push the triggers in just a little bit just so that backplate sits securely onto the rear. We're going to install these 5 screws. Grab your T8 bit and attach it to that ratchet and tighten all 5 screws. After that, the last steps will be to install the grips and the battery cover, and there you go.
Yo, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter, @FlaveForTheSoul. Also, I want you guys to check out this really cool website, anotherretrothing.com. They have a ton of cool vintage stuff. You might like what you see in store. Again, thank you for watching. This is DIY episode 1. I'm Flava for the Soul. Catch me on the next one. I'm out. Holla.